Hi everybody, it's Allie and welcome to our Y&R chat for Sunday, January 3rd, 2016. Happy New Year everyone! I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday and that you enjoyed the New Year Y&R wedding spectacular. It's kind of cool. They gave us a Christmas wedding and they gave us a New Year's wedding. Plus there was a lot of fun New Year's stuff in there too. I enjoyed Nikki and Victor's kiss at midnight, which morphed into this kiss between Nikki and Neil. What's up with that? Neil was just trying to make Hillary jealous, or not really jealous now, push her away. He's trying to push her away, and he somehow convinced Nikki to let him kiss her so that Hillary could see them and be turned off or turned away. I don't know how on earth that Nikki, I don't know if she told Victor or if Victor doesn't know at all, because Victor kind of slipped away. I don't know if he was gonna maybe give her a little New Year surprise, but I'm glad he didn't come back and notice that she was smooching on Neil. I cannot imagine that was a pre-approved with Victor kiss. It was a sneak attack kiss. It was very shocking. It was kind of tender too. They didn't just make it a peck. They kind of went in and did a slow kiss. It was a little shocking to me, frankly, but that was fun anyway. I thought it was adorable that Michael was running around. He gives himself a little squirt of breath, what do you call it? I don't know, breath freshener. And he goes and he gives all the girls a smooch. It was adorable. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun New Year. And since it's the New Year, why don't we try something different here at Y&R Chat? Why don't we do some 2016 predictions of our own? I think it was Tawny who suggested this a couple weeks ago. Why don't we do at yrchat.com some predictions for the show? And I thought, 2016 is a good way to do that. So go to yrchat.com. There is a blog post there where you can leave your 2016 Y&R predictions. They can be expected, they can be way wild and out there. What do you think that The Young and the Restless is going to give us in 2016? I'm kicking it off with a couple of ideas of my own. Some of them are a little out there, but some of them I think I might be able to nail it. And maybe we'll look back on these at the end of this year and see how many of us were correct and probably wrong. You never know what twists and turns this show is going to take. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you think is going to happen within the next year. My other question for you guys is, how did you feel about the big wedding? So that is the poll question for this week, also at yrchat.com. How did you feel about Abby and Stitch? Do you love them as a couple, or are you just kind of along for the ride thinking, it's probably never gonna last? It's tough because I have not been an Abby and Stitch fan for most of the parts of their relationship, but I also thought they were really cute. I think I warmed up to Abby and Stitch a little bit throughout the course of the week, and seeing I appreciated the way that Y&R laid out the wedding. There were some really good scenes between the couple. There were some really good scenes in the ladies' dressing room. I really liked seeing Abby surrounded by her wedding girls. They did the whole something old, something blue thing, which it was very, very touching. As Abby was walking down the aisle, there were nice sequences of the crowd sitting in wait and kind of, different focused camera angles on people who are connected through storylines. So you got a sense of what thoughts might be going through the crowd's mind as Abby and Stitch are getting married. I just thought it was a well done wedding. I wish that all of our weddings weren't on the rooftop or at someone's house. Now, we definitely don't get the big splashy weddings of the past, but all of the emotional elements were there. I loved, probably my favorite part was the fact fact that Ashley asked Simon Neville to be her date to the wedding. Ugh, this couple is just giving me life right now. It is my favorite, by far, part of the show. I felt so bad when Ashley collapsed in the middle of the ceremony. I mean, the wedding is going on. Abby and Stitch are standing at the priest. I think they were getting ready to say their vows, and we see Ashley's eyes flutter, and she falls out of the chair onto the floor in front of everyone. I would be humiliated. Can you imagine fainting in the middle of a wedding? And she is refusing to tell anyone that anything is wrong with her. Ashley is insisting she's fine. It's just that she's tired. She hasn't eaten, and everybody naturally wants to be concerned about her, call her an ambulance. But Dr. Neville comes in as the house doctor and says, no, I think that she's just tired. She just hasn't eaten, and he kind of covers for her, but realizes that there's something more going on with her. Ugh, I love it. She revealed that she has been covering up for the fact that she has a tumor, which is incredibly scary to her. The doctors, we kind of saw last week or the week before her having a conversation on the phone with one of her doctors they're saying, you have a tumor, it's inoperable, there's nothing we can do about it, you're probably gonna die, you might want to tell your family. I mean, I didn't realize that it was that severe. She's been carrying this weight ever since the surgery, hasn't told anyone about it, and just now she's realizing that it's starting to overwhelm her life. She's passed out more frequently lately, and there's nothing that she can do other than try to fight for her own cure and make sure that her daughter continues to have this wonderful life. It puts a little bit of motive behind Ashley pushing Abby and Stitch together so hard. She's realizing that she is not necessarily going to make it, and she wants to make sure that her daughter, her only daughter, is taken care of and is secure in her relationship with the man that she trusts, never mind the fact that she loves him too. But Ashley is coming to the acceptance of her own death. But Dr. Neville thinks she doesn't need to, and I'm loving this so much. He just zeroes in on her, he just calls her out and says, you know what, I covered for you in front of everyone and told them that it's no big deal, but I'm a doctor, I can tell you're covering something up. And she does finally open up to him, tells him this whole story, which is how we as the audience learned the story, and he handles her in such a perfect way, telling her, hey, we need to fight this. Why don't you let me help you? I work on brain research. What a coincidence. I mean, the scene, oh my gosh, of her writing formulas on that wall in the lab, scratching them out, and then taking all of the books and just strewing them everywhere and having a total breakdown in this incredible emotional moment. Eileen Davidson, and then Dr. Neville comes in and he says, wait a minute, you're a fighter, let's fight this together. I'm not gonna have someone who's not willing to fight in my lab, and I liked that he played to that ego of hers a little bit to get her to seek help. It was just genius. It was really well written. Cannot forget to mention the fact that all of Simon's lines are really well written. The writers, I mean, he has a unique dialogue. You know what I'm talking about. He tries to make things sound so much more flowery than they are. When it's he'll go out of his way spending a paragraph to tell Ashley that she looks good when he could have just said, you look pretty. It's unique. I thought it was wonderful. But I don't want to spend all of my time. It's like Abby's wedding. It was okay, but for me, a lot of it was about Ashley and Simon. I think it's going to be really fun for the future. But the ceremony was really good. I always love any kind of affair where we can get all of the major players together and have them interact and look beautiful and fabulous. Some maybe not as fabulous, but the ceremony itself was really nice and really heartfelt. During Abby's vows, she was telling Stitch that, hey, thanks for looking past the fact that maybe I'm kind of a spoiled brat. And Nick yelled out from the crowd, nailed it. Can you even believe that he did that? Did anybody else want to smack him? It was so inappropriate. If I was Sage, I would kill him later. I would. He would be dead after the ceremony. I can't, like, I would be humiliated. It was so inappropriate when Abby's like trying to give her vows. Like, this is not the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think maybe crowd comments are not welcome at a wedding. I was mad at him. And the other thing is, like, there was definitely some awkward and inappropriate moments because Victor's toast telling Stitch that he's a very lucky dude. Man, the word dude coming out of Victor's mouth was just so jarring. Like, what? What is he saying, dude? Like, is this Victor's attempt to kind of be young and hip? I'll give it to him. I'll give it to the writers on that one too, because it was kind of like, that delighted me even more than the vows somehow. So that was good. I had such an incredible moment of empathy for Victoria as she was trying to give her matron of honor speech. She couldn't even finish it. She's standing there trying to talk about happy, healthy marriages while her relationship with Billy is completely torn apart. She loves him so much, and yet she can't really help him. I don't know. I understand Victoria's desperation that she just wishes that Billy could help himself because there's nothing that she can do for him. And it was so gracious of Chelsea to step in and finish the toast and try to not make it a humiliating moment for Victoria. It was very sad. But in other awkward moments, I also wanted to smack Summer when she runs up to Ashley and suggests that she dance with the groom. Okay, this is inappropriate on a number of levels. Number one, the woman just collapsed, okay? Give her a moment. You don't need to push her into getting up and dancing around the floor. It was weird. And number two, everyone knows that Ashley and Stitch are in love with each other. Summer, shouldn't you know that? Like, way to create more awkward between them. Oh, well, you know, for all of the razzing, we'll say, on Abby that I have done, I thought that the actress was charming this week. I thought that Stitch was charming this week, and the whole thing did turn out really cute. It helped me get a little more cozy with them. It warmed me up to them just a little bit, which is a good thing because they're married now. It's forever, right? I want to talk about the wedding and New Year's fashion. It's like one of my favorite topics. If you don't like talking about all of the who's who and the wearing and the all of the fashion, then you can feel free to skip right ahead. But I like talking about it. It's part of the experience of Y&R. The costume designers went to the trouble of dressing all of these people to make them look their best. Makeup, hair, dress, and wardrobe, and get them into this scene and make it look beautiful. And aside from the fact that the set looked beautiful, I always really want to make sure that I take a moment to appreciate all of the wonderful touches that Y&R gives us. And I had received a comment from someone, and I'm sorry I can't remember her name, but she had mentioned that she is vision impaired. So she really appreciated on Y&R chat when I go through and kind of talk about the wonderful, fabulous, spectacular dresses and the ones that were also hideous because she was not able to see the show, so it kind of helps her visualize it. So on that note, what did you guys think of the dress? Abby's dress. I was, first of all, surprised that Chelsea was able to design that thing lickety-split. It was like the quickest rush wedding dress job on the history of the planet, but I loved it. I actually really loved Abby's dress. It was kind of a short dress, but with this detachable train all the way around, but it was kind of slit right down the middle of the skirt and accented with this cute little belt. I thought Abby looked really beautiful, and just the looks on her face too. She just seemed so happy on her wedding day. I thought she looked really nice, and I'm usually not loving weird wedding dresses. I don't know, I'm not a wedding dress person, but I thought this one was really cool. You guys will have to let me know what you thought about Abby's wedding dress, and also you have to let me know who you think the best and worst dressed are. You know I gotta do it. I gotta do my best and worst dress. So you can tell me, leave me a comment, let me know who you think yours are, but I'm gonna give you mine, and I'm gonna give you the bad ones first. I'll cushion the blow, I suppose. We'll get to the bad first, then the good. I'm sorry, I am really sorry. But as much as I loved Ashley, I did not love that dress. It was blue, it had like these weird cutouts around the bust, and it was like shoulder. I hate cutouts. I don't like it when it's cut out, and I don't really like seeing cutouts anywhere around the shoulder or the chest area. This is bad to say, but to me it just didn't look classy enough. It didn't look wedding attire appropriate. It was very tight. I don't know, I just feel like sometimes cutouts just look like, I don't know, they're just not elegant, and I was kind of looking for elegant, I suppose, at the wedding. The second thing I really did not love was Phyllis's dress, and I know she was my worst dressed at Halloween, I want to say, or there was another fashion event where I was not feeling the Phyllis, but I just also don't like nude illusion fabric. Like, the dress was black and very low cut, but it had this nude panel in the front, so it kind of gives a nude illusion, and I just don't like that. I don't think it looks good. Again, I don't think it's elegant. Maybe that's at the center of how I'm feeling here. I want classy, I suppose. And I mean, if I had to pick one, I would say I was not in love with Ashley's dress the most, but Phyllis was not good, and frankly, I didn't love Sharon's pink dress. It seemed like an unflattering cut on her. It was very bright pink. The color was gorgeous, but she had like one arm that was bare, and then one arm with this really long sleeve. I checked out. I was like, what is she wearing? I can't deal with it. I did enjoy the color, speaking of beautiful bright pops of color, that Chelsea had. She's wearing this Kelly green kind of off the shoulder dress. It was a little unique. It looked like something that a fashion designer would wear. The only thing I thought was strange about Chelsea was her hair. What was that? I mean, it took me a minute to figure, did she get her hair cut for this? But it was like underswept in such a weird way that kind of gave you the impression that her hair had been cut to a bob, but it was really just sort of tucked up under there. I thought that was bizarre. But other than that, I think everybody else looked good. Everybody else, I was like into pretty much everything they were wearing. My best dressed, and I know you guys are gonna think that I'm being biased, but I thought Sage was perfection. I absolutely loved the violet or plum colored dress that she had on. It had these gorgeous, it was like geometric sheer panels interspliced with like geometric sparkles. I don't know what the fabric would have been, but it was like purple, sheer, sparkle, geometric. She had on these geometric kind of triangular diamond earrings, and this perfect curly kind of back swept updo with a light little curly ponytail in the back. It was just gorgeous. And it's not because I'm preferring Sage. I know I'm a Sage fan, and even though she's annoying right now, my Sage love of the character has actually gone down. Purely a fashion note, I thought she was the best dressed. I don't know if you guys will agree, probably not. Now, I gotta give you my best dressed man. Oh my goodness, you guys are gonna kill me, but I love this. Ooh, Luca was giving me Ricardo Montalban Fantasy Island realness in that white jacket with a black tie. I mean, I gotta give it to a man who will wear a white jacket, because everybody else at that party was wearing black jacket. And he said, nope, I'm gonna wear white. The man looked like, if you are not familiar with Ricardo Montalban, Fantasy Island, Google that right now. If you are not a child of the 70s and 80s, like, you gotta see this, because it was dead on. And I just thought, he just seems, and I've said this before, like this 70s, early 80s TV kind of character. I think a YNR chatter, Amanda, will appreciate me saying that, because he just seems like a TV, like a late 70s TV star. And I thought he looked wonderful. I thought Marissa looked very nice in magenta. She had this kind of like folded flap front thing, but the color was gorgeous. She had a simple kind of gold dangle earring, didn't distract too much from the dress. I always have to focus on the women, because the guys are never that stunning to me, but I did appreciate Jack's cummerbund. I know it's a random thing to notice, but you don't see a lot of cummerbunds these days, and I thought Jack really rocked it. I thought Michael really rocked it. He always looks dapper. Lauren, thank you, woman. The champagne sparkle dress, it had a cutout back and kind of a drapey cutout back. She just looked gorgeous. Michael and Lauren, I just want to like pluck them off of my screen and put them on top of the cake. I mean, who was a more perfect couple at that wedding than Michael and Lauren? Victoria had on a gorgeous, 50 style. Victoria loves that 50 style flared skirt, black dress, but it had this gorgeous black kind of lace that sort of just kind of with little lace tendrils coming up off the shoulder but onto her chest. It was really, really lovely. And she has the hair of a goddess. Does anybody have better hair than Amelia Heinel? I mean, for sure, she got voted best hair in high school or something. I mean, her hair was just stunning, elegant. It was perfect. I loved her dress. I wasn't sold on it at first because I couldn't see the bottom of the cut, but as she came down the aisle, escorted by, who the heck? No, I think she came on her own, right down the aisle, and I just thought, ooh, that looks good, good, good. I loved Nikki. Nikki can be a hit or a miss, because sometimes YNR makes her look not good, but she looked good. She looked matronly. She had on these like teardrop style, like teardrop kind of shaped diamond earrings, and this cute little curly bob with her bangs kind of in an updo. I thought she looked very nice. Tracy looked very nice, and I cried when she gave Abby that bracelet, that sapphire bracelet that belonged to Colleen. I cried. I was like, I was so touched by Tracy during and around Colleen's death, and I just have never forgotten it. And so her bringing, the fact that I love Tracy with the fact that she mentioned that and Abby and Colleen were close. And so just the fact that she gave Abby the bracelet that belonged to Colleen, it just absolutely took me by storm. There were tears. I enjoyed Hillary in fuchsia. She was looking very classic, sleek. Thank you. That's what you wear to a wedding. And Lily, even though Lily was a little more funky, a little more offbeat, she was sort of wearing a shorty dress, but it looked classy. It had these sort of weird flower embellishments on top, but the front of it, or the whole thing, was like sparkly silver, black, sapphire. She had on very red lips. I thought Lily looked amazing. What do you guys think? There was a lot of fashion to go over. What are your best and worst dressed for the New Year's Eve Abby Stitch wedding 2016? Leave me a comment and let me know. Nick and Sage are back from their little holiday getaway, and they are kissing like teenagers. Nick's moved into the condo with her right across the hall from Adam, which, by the way, I hadn't really thought of it until now, but I think it's a good idea. I think Nick should be in the condo and give us a break from the tack house for a little bit. That tack house never really fit Nick's personality at all. If you think about it, Nick's home doesn't match who Nick is. And I'm not necessarily saying he's a condo guy, but I'm kind of preferring seeing him over at the condo. I'm sure Faith is going to have plenty to say about not wanting to be there sooner rather than later. Who knows? Maybe Faith. You know what's probably going to happen? I bet Faith is going to end up seeing Adam and Sage kiss or something like that and tell Nick. Faith is getting a lot of screen time these days, so we'll see about that. But for now, it seems like Nick and Sage are back on track, but nobody likes it. Nobody's happy about it. First of all, I will say, there was a scene where Dr. Anderson is trying to be real friendly with Nick and tells him, you know, you actually should stay away from Sage for Sage's sake. Oh, I've seen women go through what she's been through, and you don't want to give her any false hope, or I don't remember what her reasoning was, but she was warning Nick to stay away from Sage. Seems like Victor is warning Sage to kind of stay out of everyone's life. Victor doesn't really want Sage around Nick or Adam, but especially Adam. And I liked that Victor kind of said that in front of Sage, and she did confront him. I appreciate that she doesn't just roll over and take whatever Victor's going to say to her. She did say, you know, this is kind of the second time you seem to imply that you want me to stay away from Adam. What's that about? And come on, Victor and Adam are keeping a secret from her that Adam was the father of her baby. So I think she has every right to question them. But Victor very much warns Adam, no bones about it, you are flirting with disaster by continuing to prop Sage up. You are giving her false hope, and if anything happens, then it's going to cause problems with Chelsea and your son, and we all know Chelsea's now hoping that they're going to have another baby. So Sage is an X factor that Adam really doesn't need in his life. Everything is going kind of good with Adam. He's gotten everything that he's wanted. He got his family back. I'm sure he would love to have a child with Chelsea. Why wouldn't he? He should be distancing himself from Sage. It was an unfortunate thing that supposedly happened to their baby, but since we know the only thing we know is that the baby is technically still alive, but as far as Adam knows, the baby's not alive, it might be better for you to just move on with your wife and your life. There was a reason you kept the secret from Chelsea in the first place, so it doesn't seem consistent that he's being so empathetic towards Sage. It never seemed consistent that he hid the paternity of his own child and would let Nick raise it, but that's a whole nother kettle of fish. Victor knows the secret, though, and he's blackmailing Adam with Christian's paternity information, threatening to go to Chelsea, and Adam's had it. I mean, there was 1 week where Adam was working in tandem with Victor at Newman Enterprises, and the fact that he's being blackmailed into it is not setting right with him. Adam wants out, and he has come up with this brilliant plan to partner up with Luca to try to take down the fathers. I mean, it's sort of weird and interwoven because Victor is wanting to get the Santoris out of his company by connecting them to Marco. And if he can publicly connect the Santoris to Marco, then in his mind, he's going to just push them out of the company. And if Marissa becomes a casualty of war, so be it. Victor has taken this many opportunities to remind Noah that sacrifices have to be made in war. So, I mean, Noah is fine with it as long as Marissa's with Luca. I mean, the woman you love she's gone to you, so oh well if she gets caught in the crossfire. But Adam is noting that, hey, Marissa could actually get hurt in all of this. If the Santoris find out that Marissa is the reason that they're going to end up getting exposed in their illegal dealings, then they're going to want to hurt her. They're going to want to get rid of her, which I'm sure we're going to see in the future. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of danger around Marissa in the future. But Adam seems to be the only one of the trio of Victor and Noah who says, maybe this isn't right. I don't want to cause anybody any harm. So Adam hooks up with Luca, and it's in what I can only describe as a hot partnership. A hot partnership of hot guys. Thank you. Just thank you, YNR. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Hot. That's all I can see right now. Oh yes, the storyline. So Adam and Luca are partnering up to like bust out the fathers' illegal activities and overthrow their respective kingdoms. So Adam wants to take out Victor while Luca wants to take out his father, and they've realized that they've got a lot in common, and so they're really going to work together to make it happen. I just love that YNR came up with this connection. It is right. Adam is putting this little idea into motion, and he even finagles Marissa and Luca an invite to Abby's wedding, which was the only reason they were there. I mean, can't you totally understand why Victor wouldn't want the slimy Centauris at his daughter's wedding? Victor was totally mad to see them there, but it was weird that Adam went to Abby to ask if they could come, and against Victor's wishes, but they were there. The partnership is alive. Adam and Luca had a little champagne toast right there at the party. It's hard to believe that anybody wouldn't notice, but I am thinking, just from a very few brief sentences, that Noah is onto it, that Noah sees that Adam is up to something, and maybe Noah's gonna be the one to stop him. I'm afraid that Kevin is getting scammed in this whole Swiss hacker, big security business venture that he's involved in. There's something, I just feel like the Swiss girl is on her way. She's been cast, and I just feel like I hope he's not going to get scammed in all of this, because Kevin Fisher as a character is someone who's always looking for a score, and he always is kind of the perpetual loser. I don't know if Kevin Fisher will ever truly win in life, but he's, working with Mariah, and she's trying to, I think Mariah is trying to insert herself into this whole situation so that she can just keep an eye on it, because Mariah is a scammer, and she knows a scammer when she sees one, and I think that she's beginning to realize that she has feelings for Kevin and doesn't really want to see him get hurt. And I do like that, but there is also a part of me, just on a side note, that is not really feeling Kevin and Mariah's romance anymore. It just got stomped on after the bad sex, and I don't know if YNR is even intending on taking it in a romantic direction. Kevin and Mariah did have a little bit of a New Year's Eve kiss, but it seemed by default. It seemed like these are two people who like each other as friends, but aren't necessarily interested in or sure of a romantic connection. And if that's the case, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with a good friendship. I think Kevin and Mariah make really good friends. Not every man and woman on the show has to be a couple. So if nothing ever moves forward between Kevin and Mariah, I think I'm okay with it, as long as YNR still keeps up the really good friendship. Now, I wanted to save the depressing stuff for last. I mean, because it ain't fun. It is not fun. Billy wants desperately to be involved in Kevin's little business venture, because he thinks that being involved in something successful is going to redeem him in everyone's eyes. Victoria, Jack, there's gonna this thing that Kevin's onto is gonna be his key to getting his life back. And frankly, I've always said this about Billy. It didn't matter who played him. It didn't matter the actor, and we've been through a few. This just goes to show, the fact that Billy is so into this idea just goes to show that he hasn't really changed at all. Billy is always looking for the quick fix. And the thing about life and success is that there's not a quick fix. you take all of the little steps along the way that build up to success. And gambling is a tangible representation of the quick fix. Since Billy can't get the money to invest in Kevin's venture, he decides to go gamble for it. He risks $200,000. It's probably his last. He didn't even have the money. So he puts $200,000 on a horse and is hoping to make the money to invest in the business to get his whole family back. That's not how it works. You have to take the little baby steps it takes to actually get better. And I think that maybe part of this is just me kind of, from my own life having to deal with this type of mentality. But I was on board with Jack. Phyllis is constantly defending Billy. She's always wanting to make excuses for him, always wanting to help. Well, there's a certain point where you can't keep helping someone until they want to help themselves. Billy goes to Jack asking for the $2 million investment, and first of all, it's not the best time to ask Jack. You just cost him $500 million with your other harebrained idea, and now you're coming to him for more money? I don't blame Jack for his reaction in turning Billy away, and I also really liked the conversation at the table at New Year's between Jack and Phyllis, where Phyllis says, what's more important than your brother? You didn't get help recovering from your addiction on your own. I was there. I helped you kick the pills. And Jack said, yes, but I wanted the help. Billy has to want the help, and Billy has to be in it for the hard work. That's the difference. And I just feel it. I understand the addictive personality that Billy has. It's been there even, and I felt it during the Billy Miller days, and I'm feeling it right here in the Burgess days, but that does not mean that it did not break my heart to see him hurt. It is hard to watch someone self-destruct and to watch them get hurt, because at the end of the day, Billy has done all this to himself. He's the one that placed the bet, and now the goon, the bookie that he placed the bet with, wants to get his money back. So the goon comes to him and says, hey, Billy, where's the money? You're dodging my phone calls. It's $200 grand. I want my money. And it starts off real light, and Billy's trying to talk his way out of it, and pretty soon it erupts into this horrible, heartbreaking assault scene where I hate that scene so much. I had a really hard time watching it because the main goon is like in the foreground, and in the background we can see this like big heavy guy just kicking on Billy, kicking him, punching him, and it was so violent, and it seemed like the amount of violence got away from the main goon guy. So Billy basically got hurt way more than the original guy ever even expected. But whatever, I wanted to cry. Like, it absolutely hurt me so bad, because, and maybe it's just personal, because I understand what it's like to love somebody who doesn't love themselves, won't help themselves, and it's impossible to not feel empathy for someone who, when their actions have led to something horrible like this. I'm not saying that what the goons did was right by any means. I mean, they're responsible for their actions too, but this is the net of his actions. This is the consequence. And it's just hard to watch. It was so hard to watch. And it makes me mad about the recast too, because damn it, why did Burgess have to be bringing it right before he's leaving? I mean, the look, oh my gosh, the look on his face, when he comes up and he's all bloody and he's like crawling through this parking garage. Oh man, it was just really hard for me to watch. I'm sure it was hard for you to watch. It's how could you not have empathy for him? But it's such a mixed bag, like, I don't know, maybe it's because like the holidays or whatever, but doesn't everybody have a family member like this? But I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I just felt so terrible for him. And then, my God, to add insult to injury, he's on the ground behind a car which belongs to Noah Newman. And Noah comes out of the wedding, and he's trying to maneuver his way out of a bad parking situation, flips the car into reverse, and runs over Billy. like my heart was being run over. I really did. Like, it was a weird, slow, like Noah kept bumping into something, you know, like he's like pushed it in reverse and running over something, probably thinking it's the curb. No, it was Billy. Like, we're knowing that he's being crushed right now. Noah goes off. Marissa is the one that comes out into the parking garage and sees Billy lying there on the ground and tries to help him. There was the face of Billy, his eyes just open, like he didn't have any light in him whatsoever. And she apparently calls 911, gets him off to the hospital. He's still alive, of course. Clearly, everyone is going to assume that all of Billy's injuries are related to the car accident as opposed to the beating. I think, anyway. I think that no one's going to realize that he got beat up. Everyone's just gonna assume, oh, poor Billy, he just got hit by a car. But the thing is, I thought it was interesting, the choice of who was driving the car and who found Billy, because next week we're gonna see all the tears over Billy's hospital bed. Jill's gonna be there. That's gonna be wonderful. Victoria's gonna have her breakdown. Jack's gonna have his breakdown. Phyllis is probably gonna just be all empathy. And I don't know when the recast is gonna happen, but I think it's early January, so it's gotta be soon. But the other little element in here is the fact that Noah was driving the car and the fact that Marissa is the one who found him. I think that what we're gonna see is Marissa realizing that it was Noah who drove the car that drove off, or Marissa somehow gonna put together the pieces and realize that it was Noah, and she's gonna have the choice about whether to tell the truth and turn him in, or whether to, I don't know, maybe have sex with Noah again. What a helpful, sexy elf you are. Weird random comment. It was Chelsea who said it during last week's show, and Phaedra, Candida, Victoria, Jasmine, and Lauren all got that quote correct. I think maybe I'm gonna throw you a curveball again. On this one. I think I like picking holiday quotes and random quotes that stick out at me, but I also like throwing you a little bit of a curveball here. So this week's Who Said It is, when you love someone, it's hard for the heart to let go. I think I think it's a good quote. And I think that it's also something that could have been said at any point in the week, and I'm really looking to fool you guys a little bit. So how closely did you guys watch this week's show? When you love someone, it's hard for the heart to let go. If you think you know who said it, you can go to yrchat.com to leave your guess, and if you get it right, you'll get a shout out on next week's chat. It has been kind of a crazy couple of days for me. We had a huge winter storm here, and it caused massive power outages all in my area. The house was without power for 2 days. It was extremely cold, extremely miserable. It really threw off my schedule, and it kind of threw off my schedule for 3 days, as the power went out Monday afternoon, and it was out all day Monday, and it didn't return until very late Tuesday night. I wasn't even at the house. I'm like, it's cold, there's no internet, there's no power, there's no TV, there's nothing. I need to leave. I have to eject from this cold cavern. So I didn't really even get back into my home until Wednesday, kind of later in the afternoon. So I was scrambling to get all of my YNRs watched, scrambling to get all the website stuff ready to go. I had planned a Genoa City soap giveaway for today, well, for Friday and today, which if you haven't signed up for the newsletter at genoacitysoap.com, you should, because you missed a giveaway. I created 3 new YNR soaps. These 3 are inspired by Crimson Lights, the coffee house. I did a little espresso machine bar. I've already got them wrapped, so you can't actually see the bars if you're watching the video. I did a Wisconsin hot chocolate, and I did a sweet crimson chai. That was my favorite. So we did a giveaway. We're doing a giveaway today. And if you want to get all the fragrance descriptions and all that stuff and sign up for the newsletter, you can go to GenoaCitySoap.com. I do have some other soaps planned that are based on Y&R characters that I already have made, and I'll bring up during Valentine's Day, which is, I think, a really good time to do some soap couples. Speaking of soap couples, last week's poll was, should Lily and Kane get back together? 85% of you said yes. They need to get back together. They need to stay back together. So I think it's interesting that after all of this time, the fans are still on board with Lily and Kane. I mean, it's there's something there. There's some kind of chemistry that just can't be denied, I suppose. I want them to get back together. Kane wasn't at the wedding or anything like that. So that's last week's poll's results. This week's poll was, how did you feel about Abby and Stitch's wedding? So you can let me know how you feel about that. I'm still working my way through comments. I'm absolutely reading every single comment. I'm listening to every single voicemail, but because the power was out, I'm sort of, hit the ground running. I'm kind of scrambling to get everything done, so I'm probably going to do that later tonight. But I do appreciate all of your comments. And all of the people who have introduced themselves on the blog in the introductions thread, I really, really appreciate that. It's been such a delight to learn more about you, and I'm kind of looking forward to hearing your 2016 predictions. So definitely be sure to check that out, check some soap out, and I will be back next week with a full, hopefully longer Y&R chat. You can always, again, go to the website at yrchat.com to leave blog comments, or you can leave them on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can call into my voicemail at 309-588-4569. I love hearing from you. I hope everyone had a very happy new year, and I'm wishing you lots of love and luck for 2016. Bye!